Neuro linguistic programming. It's one of the buzzwords these days, and there are so many platforms that are available in the market which are offering various trainings related to neuro linguistic programming. Neuro linguistic programming is a pseudo-scientific approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy. And it was created by Richard Bandler and John Grinder in California in the United States in the 1970s. And the creators of NLP claim that there is a connection between neurological processes, which is neuro, language, which is linguistic, and behavioral patterns learned through experience, which is regarded as programming, and that these can be changed to achieve specific goals in life. So in today's episode, let us chat with NLP expert Devi Gnaanasekar to understand the basics of neuro-linguistic programming. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. Folks, I'm your host, Naveen Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to shape the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And through The Guiding Voice, we enable and help successful leaders share their knowledge and wisdom with the world so that our audience will acquire more knowledge by tuning into The Guiding Voice for every minute than any other podcast in this space. Thank you so much for joining me. And we are extremely pleased to have Devi, part of the Guiding Voice journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Devi, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. I'm super excited to have you here and super thrilled to host you today.
Hi, Naveen. Thanks a lot for your invite as a guest speaker in your episode. And first of all, before starting, I would like to give a great applause and appreciation to you for your service. And of late, I'm seeing all your videos and episodes. It is really good, and I guess it is guiding a lot of millions of youths across the globe. And in fact, I feel privileged and proud to join you in your mission for shaping the career of millions.
All right. Likewise, a pleasure to have you, Devi. Let's get started. I'm going to request you to share your career journey very briefly and touch upon top 3 things that have helped you so far in your professional life.
Well, my career journey, if you see, I started my career as an electrical engineer. I did my graduation in electrical engineering. And after that, I did my post-graduation in thermal power plant engineering, and I did my business administration. And I have almost 15 years of rich experience in various corporates and in various core sector departments like design and engineering, project management, and strategic sourcing. And this is something about my professional life. And apart from my profession, I'm a certified NLP practitioner and a hypnotherapist. And I do take sessions for the corporates and colleges. And I take many counseling sessions for students and women for their upliftment. And apart from this, I'm a YouTuber and a storyteller. This is something about myself. And your question, second question, top 3 things, right? Top 3 things, if you want to tell, the first thing I'll say it's my passion. My passion has brought me to this stage. And second, hard work, I can say, because hard work, I put in a lot of efforts and hard work, and that's where I'm here. And thirdly, I can say my confidence, my self-belief, the confidence, my level of belief has pushed me to this, brought me to this level. Hope I've answered your question.
Absolutely, Devi. Yeah. So passion, hard work, and confidence. So those are the 3 key pillars, and those are the strengths that have elevated you to this position. And it's so nice to hear from you. And now let's talk about the history of neuro-linguistic programming. I mentioned in 1974, these 2 guys, John as well as Richard, right? They started NLP. So can you shed some more light around the history?
Yes, Naveen. As you said rightly, in the year 1970, in California, University of California, John Grinder, he was a associate professor there, and along with this fellow man, a student, Richard Bandler, both together were very curious person. They wanted to know like why individuals are different, why people are different, and why there are few successful people and why there are unsuccessful people. They were just doing a research on that. And what they did, they just took some few great therapists who were very successful in the industry, and they started doing analysis on them, on their behavior, on their communication pattern, their lifestyle, everything. They were just doing analysis and they were doing a research, and the output of the research was NLP. Thus NLP was born.
Great. Now let's talk about the details of this NLP. Like, it's a pseudo-scientific approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy. Right? Can you shed more light around NLP, what it is all about, and how does it impact human lives?
See, as you said at the beginning, NLP, it's a personality development technique. It's basically psychological based technique. And let me explain each word by word. N stands for, as you said, it's neuro. Neuro is nothing but neurons. Neurons are nothing but the brain cells. These are the cells which sends and receives signals to the brain. And if you see our characters, our behaviors normally are decided by these neurons. And the second letter L stands for linguistic. Linguistic is nothing but language. Language, how we communicate with others and how we communicate with ourselves, right? And P stands for programming. Programming is nothing but, it's like software programs we write, right? Codes and programs. Like, as per this NLP founders, what they say is that the individuals are different. Their communication pattern is different. Their behavior is different. Their response to any situation, their characteristic, everything are different because of the main differences in the programming made in their brain. And so what they claim is that if you want to change your behavior, your characters, or your communication, anything can be changed at any part of your life if you are changing your programs made in the brain. And so any changes can be made at any time. Like, see, there is one proverb in Tamil. ஐந்தில் வளையாதது ஐம்பதில் வளையாது means if you are not able to change at the age of 5, you cannot change at the age of 50. It's a very older proverb, but as per NLP founders, it is not true. You can change anything at any part of your life. That is what. And maybe now you can ask me, like, how these programs are made in the brain. See, the answer for this will be, this programming starts as you're born. There are many factors to determine the programs made in the brain. And I can just say there are three important factors which determines the program. And the first factor is your family. Of course, when a baby is born, it is being taken care by the parents and grandparents. And so, like, the child, the baby just observes them. Whatever they do, it just observes. It just tries to replicate the same thing. It believes that what they are doing is right, and so whatever they do, it programs the same thing. For example, how they behave, it just observes how they behave with their subordinates, with their servant maid, with their neighbors, with the society. Same thing, it starts to program in its mind. This is the way we need to behave. And even the moral values, what the parents, grandparents carry, they have to also store the same thing in their brain. And apart from this, and maybe the family values, traditions, culture, they also observe and they also try to replicate the same. And so 60% of the programming mainly is being registered during your childhood, in your young age. And the second important factor is that as the baby is grown up, it is going to school, right? And so it comes across its a new network, friends, teachers, and the external environment. And so whatever they believe, he starts to believe. And for example, like if your benchmate, like if he says you're good in something, then immediately your brain starts believing that you're good in that, and it starts to develop the skills in that, and it starts to become expert in that. And even the vice versa. For example, many a times we can see teachers scolding the students that you're not good in this, you're not good in this, you're good for nothing, things like that. When these words are being repeatedly heard, what happens? The brain starts believing that, okay, I'm not good in this. I'm not fit for this. Like that, it starts believing. And so the second important factor is your external environment, what they believe, and your brain starts believing the same. And the third important factor is your external and it's your own experience. Like experience in the sense, like as you grow up, you start doing everything by your own. You start exploring the world and doing by yourself. For example, when a child starts riding a bicycle, and when he just overspeeds, what happened? He suddenly fell down. And so his brain starts writing a program. Okay, whenever I increase my speed, I tend to fall down. I tend to let in a face accident kind of thing. And so he just writes a program. You should not overspeed kind of thing. And so similarly, the brain starts programming based on your family values, based on your external environment and your experience. And when any situation happens, when external events happen, what happens? Our sense organ sense these external environment, and it just gives a signal to the brain. And brain immediately just goes and searches the programs that is already made. And it just like based on probability or whatever you say, permutation, combination, whatever may be, it just picks one output and gives the output. And so we behave in that way. And so like it's always our behavior, our communication is always already set. We just behave according to the program. And so in NLP, like that founder says that this, by changing the programs in your brain, anything can be changed. They do the changes in the programming in your subconscious level, and that is all about NLP.
So yeah, if you could change the program at subconscious level, then it is possible to change the behavior and all. And I can relate to the quote that you mentioned in Tamil. In Telugu also, it is called as Mokkai Vanganidi Manai Vranguna. If you were to truly translate, like if you cannot straighten a plant, you cannot straighten the tree. I can relate to that. But this seems to be a theory which is contradicting, but anything is possible. Literally anything is possible by observing the patterns and trends. That is what I could figure out. Now, can you shed some light around how brands are using NLP to attract consumers?
See, NLP is used, if you see across the globe, all brands are nowadays using NLP. See, wherever manpower is deployed, they use that to enhance their skills. And if you see, as of now, all organizations, they use this NLP technique to groom their leadership level team and to the sales force, so as their behavior will be improved, their rapport with the customers can be improved, their communication with the customers can be improved, and so that they can bag good orders, good deals can be won. That is a basic criteria. And apart from organizations, if you see nowadays, you can find advertising firms and media industry. They are using NLP because the advertising and media, like it should, their aim is to make their product reach their consumers, right? And so, like first of all, with this NLP, they will try to understand what the customer needs, and the secondly, like they will, once their advertisement is on the screen, like they want to know what is the reaction a consumer gives. And so, for these studying, NLP is used in these media. And apart from this, brands nowadays, even in search engines, it seems that people start using this NLP technique because, like, to want what is the motive of the search, why we are online searches, what is the motive, what they want. They find that, and accordingly, they place the advertisement in their screen. For that, it is being used. And apart from this, you can see a lot of NLP techniques are used in BPO call centers, people who are in customer care, for to have a good rapport with the customers. Mm-hmm. And so it is used everywhere nowadays.
Yeah, I can connect to that. And now, can you share more light around how can we use this NLP positively?
See, NLP, as I said, it is a personality development technique. See, personality means like a person is, how a person is judged, a good or a bad person. Like based on the only two outputs of a human being, right? One is behavior, how they behave, action, and second is their communication. And so these two are being controlled, or it has been enhanced by this skill. And it is basically for, by using this techniques, one can enhance your self improvement, self growth can be seen. And basically, like there are so many millions of techniques in NLP. And with these techniques, what happens? You can understand yourself, what sort of person you are. For self awareness and self understanding, it can be used. And secondly, to remove all your, to enhance your belief about yourself, it is used. And moreover, it is used for self growth and self improvement, I said. And like the main important is that to program yourself, to reprogram your brain to achieve whatever you want. And there are many techniques, visualization techniques, affirmation techniques, to make you believe and to make you achieve things. There are many techniques. And there are few visualization technique and imaging technique, meta models. There are many techniques, like there are few techniques for influencing people also. Apart from this, NLP has some technique like non-verbal cues. with your eye movement, with your body language, people can understand, study people, and whether they can detect whether you're talking, you're telling lies or true. Those kind of things also can be used. And so NLP is purely a psychological technique. You can use it for your self development and for your self growth. And it does, your programs are being changed in a subconscious level.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now I'll share my path with NLP. Of course, I'm not an expert and all, but I've been observing certain trends that are followed by the tech companies and all. Like if you observe social media, the way it started, right? Very few users started using it, and nowadays WhatsApp has grown to an extent wherein you cannot even work. Okay, you cannot continue to work or on your professional deliverables also without WhatsApp, right? And it slowly injected into our daily habits and all. And so is the case with some e-commerce platforms and all. Like I'll tell you example with Amazon has launched this fresh, wherein the groceries can be delivered on the same day or the next day, and they came up with an offer called 1 rupee sale. Okay, there are certain fresh deals at 1 rupee, and wherein few products will be priced at 1 rupee and all. And of course, on a given day, you will be eligible to buy 1 or 2 products at that price, or if you are lucky, you will buy 4 of them and all. And what is happening in this process is, as a consumer, you tend to check on, okay, whether the 1 rupee offer is available or not and all. And we happen to visit that site frequently, and inadvertently you end up buying more, right? Likewise, so is the case with the other sites also, e-commerce platforms, and also on the smartphone utilization part, right? The moment you get a WhatsApp notification, there is a ring that happens, right? And you get a message notification, and we often tend to check, okay, what's happening around the world, what is happening with friends and all. Likewise, there are so many disadvantages with NLP, as I see from the consumer perspective, being a consumer and all, right? So keeping these things on mind, and maybe if you could relate to any other examples and all, how can I, as a consumer, avoid getting trapped by this NLP, so that I don't want to spend more. I don't want to spend more in terms of money as well as time, whatever. How can I avoid the being trapped by NLP? And I'll also tell you one other example. These days, there is a lot of demand for these master classes and all, like wherein some XYZ expert, they say, I'm going to launch a master class, free master class, or maybe they price it at a literally throwaway price, like $1 or $2 and all. But once you get there, after attending that for about an hour or so, they sell the main course, and which they say it is originally $10,000, but now that you have joined, I'm giving it to you for $2,000. And later on, again after 2 minutes, again they say it's only for $1,000. Likewise, the offer is very compelling, and we get into that fear of missing out. Right, again, that I see as a NLP technique to sell more and all. Right, these are a couple of examples which I can think of. Again, based on your experience, also you can share how can we avoid getting trapped in simple terms.
Okay, see, these are the it's practical examples. And see, basically they wanted to add or enhance desire in you. That is the thing. They try to cultivate a desire, and so that you will be forced to buy. That sort of thought they are just enhancing. See, and about the master class and all, I just see, NLP is really a psychological technique. It's a proven technique, but there are many practitioners who do it as a service, and they have found a lot of positive things have come out from the people using this NLP. But there are some, even off late, I'm seeing a lot of offers, like few online classes they are taking, and they claim few hours of classes, and they claim a lot of money. And after that, they say they give a lot credited, accredited certificates, this that. See, NLP is a practical psychological technique. Only with practical training you will be able to analyze. It's a subconscious level training. You can understand the changes. But theoretical classes for a few hours with a certificate, I don't know what is that purpose they are going to add. And moreover, with a certificate, will it going to change yourself? And people should be aware of this. And there are a lot many things going on, and they should be try to understand which is good and bad.
Mhm. Yeah, I get it. I think you got in a very important point. It's all about the value addition by going through that rather than merely getting that printed certificate and flaunting it on social media and all. So we have to be cautious before enrolling for that. Excellent. Devi, this has been a fabulous conversation so far, but I would like to spice up the episode. Okay, with your consent, I'll open a quick rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
All right. So let me fire the first bullet. Devi, would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Of course, future.
Spot on. What is the best piece of advice that you have received so far?
Best piece of advice recently I've got from my dad. If you want to buy a Rolls Royce, don't get opinion from a Toyota owner.
Mind blowing. All right, here comes the interesting one. Have you ever walked out of a movie theater mid show?
No, normally I don't have a habit of going to a theater. That too, mid show. No,
Okay, all right, moving on. Do you believe in ghosts?
no, I don't.
Okay, spot on. Moving on to the last one for rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget that you like to see or invent yourself, Devi?
Electronic gadget in the sense, maybe a gadget to understand, to read others' mind. Maybe if you're able to read others' mind, there'll not be any problem at all, right?
No, there will be a lot of problems because you will get to know the truth, right?
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
in corporate world, people behave diplomatically and all, and
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
don't they hide the emotions and all, right? So
Right, right. Yeah,
anyways,
you're
yeah,
seeing the other side.
yeah, but interesting. All right, so moving on. That was a good and quick rapid fire. With that, let me flip back to the mainstream and ask you one final question for today's conversation, Devi. What will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers or lives? Anything you can pick.
Okay. Advice in the sense, see, being an NLP practitioner, the one thing I understood is that every individual born in this world are blessed with equal opportunity and equal potential. But the thing is that only part of the population have identified their potential and they have grown up. Whereas the balanced part of population still they have not identified and still they are struggling in their life. And I guess the main reason for this is self-awareness. They are not aware of what they have. And if they are aware also, like there are some limiting beliefs within them, like I'll not be able to do this, do that, things like that. And so what my advice is that you should analyze yourself, you should discover yourself, and you should find out the hidden potential. You should try to unleash your potential, and you should have self belief in you. Having these two, for sure you can achieve anything and everything in the world. And one more, just a small quote, like even a stopped clock shows right time twice a day. It's a great saying. And so this shows emphasize the importance. Like nobody is born without purpose. Everybody, everything in the world has some purpose. And so you are come here. You have been created by God with a purpose. And so find out the purpose and act it. And for sure you can achieve anything in the world.
Excellent. Find out the purpose and proceed in the right direction. And I love that quote. Even a stopped clock shows right twice a day. So profound. And Devi, this has been really fabulous conversation, and I loved every bit of the talk. And thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing all the insights about basics of neuro linguistic programming. I'm sure this episode will give some light to the audience whether or not to pursue this path. But this has been truly enchanting conversation.
Thank you, Naveen. Thanks a lot. I really enjoyed the conversation and feel very privileged to be a part of your vision.
All right. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to Devi about neuro-linguistic programming and all. So, folks, before we move into the trivia section, here is a small request to you. Please subscribe to us in case if you haven't done already. Also, if you have loved this conversation just like I did and found it useful, request you to share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the guiding voice. Thank you so much in advance. Now, let's cruise into the trivia segment of today's episode. So today's trivia is again about NLP, but I'm going to share some more details around what happens within this NLP and what practitioners really do. You know, NLP practitioners start by asking questions, and it is unlikely for a practitioner to develop theories without asking why. And it is a natural habit of the NLP practitioner. That's why these why questions will help them understand a person and make generalizations. And this is what NLP makes different from traditional medicine, because traditional medicine focuses on treatment and care, whereas the questions asked by the NLP practitioners are transformed into a holistic perspective, specifically relating to the mind and body, emotions and experiences, behaviors, values, etc. All right. So that's all for today about neuro linguistic programming. But I'm really curious to hear from you guys in terms of the kind of topics that you'd like us to cover. And also, if you have any speaker recommendations, please reach out to me through social media platforms or drop a note on theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Folks, I'm your host, Naveen Samala, just a fellow IT professional, but I'm a passionate learner on a mission to make a difference in the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Until next time, bye-bye.